I might have multiple family.
Oh.
You never know. I might like family more than you. So much I have 5.
Do you think that's a good thing to have multiple families?
I think it's good if there's one dad and there's not a bunch of step parents involved, and the dad can be the hero, and those 5 families live a 10x better life than they would have otherwise. Yes, ma'am, I do.
But you don't think that it will be ultimately an opportunity for jealousy or disharmony amongst
women are always going to be
families?
jealous. What's changed
I'm not
about that?
jealous in
Women
my
have been jealous
marriage.
all the way through time. So
I'm not jealous in my marriage.
I don't care about your marriage. I'm talking about mine. What my life is going to be. So I don't answer to you. So that's my answer. I'm going to run my situation exactly how I want to. And generally, when I do that, that's when I have the most happiness, let's say, in my life. So that's all.
And you would want that for your daughters?
Yeah. I live my life unapologetically on my terms. So if my daughters that are overly spoiled and educated in every way and have friends all over the world and world traveled in the best schools in the world, if they have a problem with me at the end of the day, then they can kick rocks too.
See, I'm not a parent, but I don't think you have to be one to know that a very important part of parenting is putting your children first. And I'm afraid that this sounds like all you care about is you. You're not really talking here about how this will affect the children because that doesn't seem to matter to you. In fact, actually, Justin, you said they can, quote, kick rocks if your behaviour as their father upsets them or has long-lasting impacts on them. Wow. You do, however, care about your own feelings, emphasising the importance of you being the hero in their eyes. I'm yet again going to draw this comparison until some aspects of the manosphere finally get it. Can you imagine if a feminist said something similar along those lines in regards to her as a mother? Like, you would all be condemning her as a terrible, selfish, degenerate, modern woman and a failed mother who's just obsessed with herself. We all know this. That's what you'd be doing. So this is my problem with the manosphere. Can we keep the standards consistent? If you're going to claim to be upholding traditional values, which at this point is completely laughable, none of you stand for that as far as I can see, or hardly any of you. Even conservatives seem to have sold out with the conservative lifestyle. You know what okay, I don't want to go on a tangent now, but you know what really frustrates me about that is there is a lot in the manosphere that is needed and important, and I've said that in the past. I have also defended the manosphere in the past and said it's needed and important. There needs to be a space for men to talk about these things. And I have defended parts of it and people in it from accusations of misogyny. And then you come along and you discredit yourselves and you prove everyone who is criticizing you right when you hold these men to a completely different standard and you allow all kinds of stuff to fly. And yet you relentlessly criticize and harp on women for the same kind of behaviors or for equally bad behaviors, which I don't have a problem with you calling out women, okay? But it's then if men are coming along and doing the exact kind of, then you are unwilling to criticize. And it's really frustrating, I'm sure, for a lot of the genuine people in that space who actually are being discredited now, because now it seems that you're actually misogynists. And this is annoying for me. I'm finding it frustrating because I've defended this space before. I've defended people in it before. I've said we need to have that. I've criticized feminism for harping on men all the time. And it's like, and then you have to, it seems to be actually then become a misogynist movement or be have a double standard and treat women completely unfairly. Can you see how you're going to kill your own movement dead? And I think this absolutely deserves criticism, and I'm stand by that. And people get annoyed with me sometimes and say, "Oh, you're betraying this side." Look, I don't stand for a side. I'm standing for what I think is the sensible, common sense thing and what's fair. So I don't care which side it's coming from. I don't have a side. I've said that before. I don't have a side. I don't stand for a side. I don't care. But absolutely, I think it's the duty of people. If you do claim to be part of a side, call out your own people. Otherwise, you allow your movement to become completely corrupted and gone, and then you discredit yourselves and throw the baby out with the bathwater, and no one will take you seriously. And this whole thing has done more damage for the manosphere, I think, and for masculinity and the branding of masculinity and men's issues than it's done as much harm as fair. You do realise you've handed them a big stick to beat you with. I'll stop. That was not in the script. I don't want this to go on too long, but it's so frustrating, and I'm not going to defend that kind of double standard and behaviour. No one should. Yeah, and it's annoying because, like, yeah, men do need a space, and they are absolutely right when they talk about there's aspects of feminism that have really not been kind to men, and there's lots of problems that men are dealing with that aren't talked about and addressed. But did you have to make it misogynist? Because that's what the extreme left were accusing you of, to try and discredit you. And I didn't think that was fair at all. But then it seems some people have actually done that. It's almost like a psyop. It like if I was going to try and ruin your movement, I would do what has happened. So Anyway, and that includes the Conservatives. Loads of them seem to have just sold out and been terrible. And, well, all know how I feel about like people like Candace Owens and even Tucker Carlson and people like that. It's like, I didn't people that, oh my God, I don't want to, people asked me, because I said, I was really disappointed in Candace Owens. People were like, were you ever a Candace Owens fan? And I'd never said I was a huge fan of Candace Owens in the past. I've always disagreed with her on a lot. However, I didn't think she was inherently dishonest. I mean, I didn't follow her hugely, but I didn't think, anyway. But now I think she is, and it's just, but it's frustrating. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Justin Waller wants his kids to see him as the hero. And yeah, it just sounds shallow, selfish, all of the rest of it.